This video discussion was created for the Central Minnesota Weather Blog on January 18, 2010. I'll be going over the continued warm pattern for the next couple days, as well as the two storm systems affecting Minnesota this week, one of which will affect portions of the state on Wednesday and Thursday this week, and the other one from Friday into early next week. First, I want to talk about the current weather pattern we're stuck in. The forecast for tonight into tomorrow is the same one that's been forecast for the past several days. Above average temperatures and fog will be the main theme over the next about 2 days once again. The polar jet stream is well north into Canada. It's not even on this map. And the Pacific jet stream is the one in green here. The separation of these two jet streams is the reason for the very warm and stagnant weather pattern, and it's not going anywhere. The stagnant air is extremely moist, and that is what has been causing the persistent foggy conditions over the past few days. So, let's jump right into the forecast. In the short term, we'll be dealing with slightly above or near average temperatures, as well as the first storm system around Wednesday this week. Here's the daily hazards for the central and southern Minnesota region. On Tuesday, there will be morning fog with partly to mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon. The fog in the morning will be confined mostly, at least the dense fog, to western portions of the state. And on Tuesday night into Wednesday is when the real fun begins. This round of precipitation that will be moving in will be a mix of freezing rain and snow, mostly freezing rain and snow. There may be some sleet mixed in at times. It's too early to tell how much will fall, but as of right now, the precip will move in Tuesday night into Wednesday and last into Wednesday night with lingering snow showers or drizzle on Thursday, but Thursday will be mostly cloudy, overcast, dreary skies, not too much in the way of precip. Now we're going to look a little more in-depth to the midweek storm system. This is a map of the expected liquid precipitation over the United States for the next 3 days, and this is an average of the many computer models. Some show less, some show more, but this is the average. The very light green here indicates at least a trace of precipitation. The darker green indicates at least 1/10 of an inch of liquid precipitation, and the very dark green indicates at least 1/4 of an inch of liquid precipitation. This is going to fall in many different forms across the United States, but in regards to central and southern Minnesota, most of it will fall in the form of some frozen precipitation. This is a map I've created showing the probability of winter precipitation falling and accumulating. The areas shaded in light purple are the areas that will likely see at least light accumulations of ice and snow. The areas shaded in the darker purple may see heavier accumulations, and the areas not shaded in anything will likely see accumulation, but at this time it's very uncertain how much, and the entire region actually is in jeopardy right now. The precipitation type is very uncertain. Some areas may stay all snow, some areas may be all freezing rain, and some areas may have a mix of both. This is a very difficult forecast, but this is the best estimate right now. These areas will have to be shifted before the storm hits, and I will likely have an update tomorrow evening, January 19th, regarding this. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the long-range forecast. The storm that I had been talking about for the past week is still in the cards for this next weekend into early next week. There could be significant snow and ice accumulations with this storm, along with colder temperatures and high winds. Just how much of all this will happen is still up in the air. There's many variables that need to be sorted out over the next few days here. Here's the daily hazards for central and southern Minnesota. On Friday, it will be overcast and cool because we'll be in between storm systems, in between the midweek storm and the weekend storm. On Friday night, going into Saturday is when things will get interesting. Freezing rain will break out Friday night, particularly after midnight, and continue into Saturday. By Saturday morning, portions of the area, especially the southern row of counties in Minnesota, could be changed over to just plain rain. By the time noon rolls around, much of the area should have changed over to just plain rain, with the exception being from Alexandria to Little Falls and about Hinckley area. There could be still some freezing rain and snow in that area. By Saturday night continuing into Sunday, this is where the real uncertainty comes into play, because Saturday night into Sunday, rain should change over to snow. On Sunday, there is indications that a secondary band of heavy snow could develop, and if this were to happen, the eastern half of Minnesota into Wisconsin would see significant snow accumulation, possibly in excess of 6 inches, but that is something that has recently showed up on the computer models, so I'm not going to jump on it too quickly yet, but did indicate that there is a chance for some heavy snow on Sunday, continuing into Sunday night. On Monday, there will be snow showers across the entire state, and the high wind, which will have kicked in Friday night already, will continue, and any snow that has fallen will be blowing and drifting at this point, causing low visibilities and possible ground blizzard conditions. Here's a little more in-depth look at the storm system. This is the storm center that will be causing all of the weather to occur, and this storm will have very marginal cold air to work with, so the amount of frozen precipitation may be very limited to begin with in some areas, but as I stated, there may be heavy snow developing on the backside. The main snowstorm with this storm will be mainly in the Dakotas and northern Nebraska, as well as portions of northwest Minnesota. Here you can see heavy rain would be falling across southern and central Minnesota, with the heavy snow back into the Dakotas. Here, as the storm progresses, you'll notice that there are 2 L's on this map, and what is happening is that the energy from the storm center here is being transferred over into northern Illinois. Here's the secondary band of snow I was referring to. This band may produce upwards of 6 inches of snow if it were to occur. Right now I'm not positive if it will occur or not, but if it does, the eastern half of Minnesota is the area that will most likely see that heavy snow accumulation. And here you will notice this is Tuesday. This image is on Tuesday. There's still snow showers wrapping around the entire storm, and it is slowly crawling off to the northeast. In summary, we're looking at a very active weather pattern coming up, with a storm midweek and one over the weekend. Both will produce a mixed bag of icy precipitation. There will also be a wide variation in temperatures, with below to above normal temperatures in the next 7 days. This concludes the video discussion for the evening. I appreciate you watching this. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for my videos, please email me at centralmnwx@gmail.com or leave a comment on the blog, and I will take it into account for next time. Thank you for watching.